Here's a story you've lived before, even if you don't realize it as yet. You meet someone, the connection is immediate, intoxicating, like a chemical reaction you just can't control. The text flows effortlessly, the future feels possible. Then, without warning, the shift. One of you pulls back, the other panics. And just like that, you are locked in the oldest romantic pattern in human psychology. It's called the anxious-avoidant dance. But this isn't just about bad timing or mismatched feelings. This is about how our earliest experiences wired us to love in ways that actually hurts us. Welcome to Decoding Attachment Style. Let's dive into it. If you don't understand the mechanism, you're going to keep stepping on the same landmine over and over again, wondering why it keeps exploding. So we want to dive into that today. The neuroscience of anxious attachment style and why you panic. Let's go into that one first. You see, the thing is, your brain misreads silence as abandonment. Studies in attachment and human behavior show that anxiously attached persons, we have heightened sense of activity in the amygdala. And that is a part of the brain that's more like a threat detector. So when you're faced with emotional ambiguity, when things aren't quite clear, for example, a delayed text is going to be seen as something more than just a delayed text. It's going to feel as though you're being left behind. Your brain is going to concoct a story that says, you know what, this person doesn't want me. I've gone through this before. I know the script. This is just how it is. What you're really feeling is that they're losing interest. But what is often true is that they're probably just out buying groceries. You want to know that your nervous system remembers old wounds. That suffocating dread when they withdraw. Well, it's not just about them. It's your body reliving a childhood moment when you felt like love was conditional, when a parent's attention was unpredictable. As psychologist Stan Tachting says, anxious attachment isn't a choice, it's a survival strategy that outlived its usefulness. What you think you need is just one text to feel okay. But what you actually need is to rewire your tolerance for uncertainty. You want to get comfortable with fear. You want to get comfortable with things knocking you out of the blue and knowing that you are quite capable of handling it on your own. You see, one of the things that you do is you confuse intensity for intimacy. Anxious attached lovers often believe that if they care enough, then they can make someone stay. But love isn't a negotiation. And the harder you try to hold on to it, the more an avoidant attached partner is going to feel trapped. And the tragic irony of all of this is that the very thing that you do to keep them close is the thing that's going to drive them away. But let's look into the psychology of an avoidant attached person and why they disappear. For them, closeness feels like a threat. Research in the Journal of Social and Psychological Relationships, I believe it's the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, found that avoidants experience a surge in cortisol, that's a stress hormone, during emotional vulnerability. They withdraw, not because they're cruel, but it's a physiological response. It's a body response. What they tell you is, I need space. But what they don't say is, I am terrified of needing you. They believe they'll fail you. Avoidants don't ghost because they don't care. They ghost because they assume that they're going to disappoint you eventually. Their childhood taught them that love is transactional. So they'd rather leave than risk being left. As Esther Perel observes, the avoidant isn't afraid of love. They're afraid of the debt that they believe comes with it. If there is a debt involved, if they feel like this is transactional, you give me this and I have to give you that, then they're afraid of what that you're expecting might be. Would it be too much for them to handle? Can they give it to you? And what happens if they don't give it to you? Does it mean that you're going to leave them then? They mistake chaos for passion. Stable love feels unfamiliar, even boring to an avoidant. So they unconsciously will create the push-pull dynamic they associate with real connection. So things might be going really great with you guys, and suddenly they pull back. And what that's supposed to do is create some sort of disturbance, because what happens when they pull back? You sit down, you ask them, hey, what's going on? I'd like to know. And they feel attacked, or they feel criticized, and they say something like, nothing, everything's fine. What, am I not showing up for you? And then there's an upset, a problem to be solved. How do you deal with this? Become securely attached so you know that you're not falling into that kind of a cycle. You're not falling for that drama. If they pull away, you're going to pull away even harder, perhaps, because you know your worth and value. And this is why it's so incredibly important that the avoidant attached learns to heal their attachment wounds so they could communicate better and learn to get comfortable in a healthy love. It is not boring. We want to seek peace. We don't want to seek chaos, drama, not even happiness, which is very fleeting. We want to be at peace within ourselves and the relationships that we choose to have. So work towards reducing the need for chaos or misinterpreting chaos for passion. And for the anxious attached, work on your attachment style, work on healing your attachment style so that you know your worth and you're not chasing anyone. You'll know that when someone pulls away, for whatever reason, you don't need to know their reason. You just need to know that you want to step back and take care of yourself. You don't have to chase them. If they want to share with you what's going on, it's entirely up to them. You want to know that this isn't about you. If they're pulling back for whatever reason, let them be. You can even say, I sense you're trying to provoke drama here. I'm not going to engage. When you're ready to have a healthy conversation, you can find me, but I'm not dealing with this nonsense. You can only get to that place if you work on healing your attachment style. And for those of you who are joining me now, just a reminder, I had an anxious attachment style. I can't say that I'm not triggered from time to time. The difference now is, as a secure attached style person, I don't allow those triggers to control me or how I react or respond. I choose how I react and I respond to any situation coming my way. Doesn't make us perfect. It does not make the triggers go away. We're just in a more peaceful place to, dissect it, look at it, process it, and make a choice, make a conscious decision of how we're going to engage with this thing that's triggering us. And in most cases, when you realize that you don't take things personally, you can choose to let it go. Not everything becomes something that you need to discuss and clear up and clarify and deal with and move on. You could just choose to let go and move on there. Let's talk about some other ways that we can break the cycle and how we can move forward. So if you're anxious attached, you want to stop outsourcing your worth. Your value isn't determined by their responsiveness. Like I said, if they're choosing to back off or choosing to shut down whatever is going on in their mind, none of your business. Do what's best for you in this time. Most of the times, we want to fix the problem so we could feel better. If you move yourself away from the energy of this particular person, remember it's a time of distress for them and you're going to feel that energy. A lot of times we don't realize this, only recently I was thinking about why I enjoyed being alone as a child. It's not that I didn't want attention. Oh my goodness, I was seeking everyone's validation. But in hindsight, my most peaceful, happy times came from being alone under a tree, climbing a tree, playing house all by myself. And that's perhaps because I was trying to stay away from energies. I was trying to stay away from energies that's caused when people are upset or sad. Might have been my caregivers, might have been family friends or my friends, but it never made me feel comfortable. And as I got older and got into relationships, another thing happened. I would, there would be a fight in the relationship, an upset in the relationship. And of course, I was attracted to the avoidant attached person. And those of us who are anxious attached, you could relate to this. An avoidant attached person could go to sleep quite peacefully. And as an anxious attached person, you stay up wondering how on goodness gracious earth can this person sleep through when I'm so upset when we had this massive argument, and you want them to wake up and help fix the problem so that it could go away. And I was thinking about this perhaps last week. It wasn't that we wanted, and it isn't that we wanted the problem to go away. We wanted that heavy energy to disappear, the discomfort of that energy. And perhaps, even though they were asleep, we could still feel that energy oozing out of their body and knocking us over. And it's an uncomfortable energy. When I started to work on my healing and started to choose peace over everything else, I started to feel that energy so much stronger. Now I could go into an elevator and I would feel it, and it is very, very uncomfortable. What I had to do was, instead of trying to stay and make that energy go away by fixing the problem, I chose to walk away. I chose to move out of the space, and it has been really, really helpful in all of my relationships, because people around me know that I will not tolerate anything that disrupts my spirit, my energy, that hurts my energy. So one of the big things about healing is learning to trust how you feel. The more you trust how you feel, and you could move your body accordingly, meaning if you're uncomfortable with something someone says, or you walk into a room and you don't even know why you're uncomfortable, and you walk away, your body starts getting used to peace instead of chaos. And as you move away from what doesn't serve you, that's when you'll find that the people who really want to be in your life, the people who could actually see your worth and value, they are going to change their approach to be in your company, because they see you will not bend to what they're offering. So it's no longer you stepping down to someone's level. It's now you stay at the level you're at. And if they want to meet you, if they're capable of meeting you, they're going to reach up and come to you. But there's no more going down to meet someone at their level. You want to train your nervous system. Practice sitting with discomfort until your brain learns that it won't kill you. I'm going to repeat that. Train your nervous system. Practice sitting with discomfort until your brain learns it won't kill you. I went through a breakup. It was devastating. We got back together. We're still together. It was really, really devastating. It was a big, big time in my healing journey. There's a part of me that knew we were going to get back together, but I also knew that in order for us to have a healthier relationship, certain things had to change. I couldn't do anything about him, of course, but I could sure work on myself. And one of the things I used to do when I got scared or my nervous system just went out of whack was I would have the urge to drive or go for a walk, or just my body needed to move. It makes all the sense in the world scientifically, because when you sense danger, your body wants to, it's either fight or flight, mine or fawn. And what's the other one? Oof. I'll remember it in a bit. But mine was a fight or flight. And I would want hopping in the car and drive. And during this particular breakup, I could feel that urge, that need. And that's when I chose to sit there. Just sit. I sat in the middle of my bed, crossed my legs, just sat there and waited it out. I'd give it 5 minutes at first, and then I pushed for 10 minutes. It moved on 3 hours, but I would not move. And eventually my body started to get really, really comfortable with discomfort, to the point so that something uncomfortable can happen now and I could easily brush it aside because it's not going to take up my time anymore. I know that one of the things you learn as well as you sit in space with discomfort is that things change in time. You just have to let it play out as it should. And where you are right now is where you need to be. There is a lesson at every point of discomfort. There is a lesson to be learned for your growth. Start to get excited about it instead of looking at it as this horrible negative thing that you need to get over really quickly. See, too many times we just want to stay in the state of happiness, and being in happiness constantly is not realistic. It is not realistic. What is more realistic is staying in a space of peace. You want to be at peace with yourself. You want to be confident to know that you've gone through so many breakups in the past, so many heartbreaks, different heartbreaks. A friend you might have lost or had a fight with. You might have unfortunately lost a parent or a close aunt or uncle. Something devastating might have happened. You are here. You've gotten over it. So train your nervous system to sit with discomfort and to know that whatever is happening, it's not going to kill you. And date someone who reassures you before you spiral. When you start dating, and recently I've been writing a lot more about this on social media and TikTok and Instagram, when you can spot the red flags. And what is the red flag? Things are going great. Slow down. Slow down. Too many of you reach out to me and say, oh, I'm so devastated. This relationship ended. I don't know what to do. And when I ask what's been going on, you've only known the person for 1 month. And not only that, they live in a different country, so you have not really seen them more than once. You can't allow yourself to be consumed by a relationship or the idea of another person to the point where you're devastated when they're pulling away after hardly being in contact for 1 month. And you may ask, so how does this happen? Because you spend too much time in your mind daydreaming and creating a relationship that is not a part of reality. You have to be able to get a grip of reality. I am not judging you. I've been here before too. I have been here before. I remember only recently, a few nights ago, I was saying to my partner, I was like, how could I have told you I loved you after 3 months? What was I thinking? I couldn't do that now. In 3 months, I didn't know him enough to love him. Yes, I liked him. I liked certain things about him, but I didn't know him enough to love him. Why did I buy all those presents for him and I barely knew who he was? He wasn't investing half as much into the relationship. He was just getting to know me. So we've got to watch ourselves and take some accountability. As anxious attached, I'm talking to. And the reason I tend to be a little harsher on the anxious attached, I know that, is because I've lived your pain. And I know it's not necessary. I know you can get out of it. I know your strength. I've been there. You don't have to do this. I promise you your life could turn right around the moment you fall madly in love with yourself and you choose you first. And then you'll be able to choose that person who's right for you. Now, if you're an avoidant attached person, recognize that love isn't lost. You won't disappear if you let someone in. You still have control. You just have to learn how to speak up and let people know what you're going to tolerate from them, what you won't, what your boundaries are, what your needs are. Don't be afraid. And so what? So what if they leave? My partner taught me something. What is the worst? When you get scared of something, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? You've gone through devastating times as well. You're going to get through whatever comes your way. But the last thing you want is to be in your 80s, 90s, 100s, in your deathbed and say, you know what? I should have let that person in. I should have allowed myself to let that person in. All they wanted to do was love me. All they wanted to do was be there for me. Remind yourself that your current state is not your childhood. That little boy, that little girl had no control of if that parent or caregiver left for work and how long they stayed. You have control now. You can allow people in. And yes, they're going to leave for certain bits of time. As human beings, we have other responsibilities, but you don't have to be afraid anymore. So communicate before you shut down. Silence isn't a boundary. It's a wall. It pushes people out. And you can't assume that they should know what you're thinking and know what you're feeling. That's a projection. The anxious attached mind and the avoidant attached mind, they're very different thinking tools. They don't think the same way. If they did, we wouldn't be in this mess. Stop running from the love that you claim you want. Now, an uncomfortable truth is that this dynamic can only change when one person chooses to step off of the treadmill, and you've got to decide if it's going to be you. The right relationship will not leave you deciphering mixed signals, and this isn't only from them. The right relationship with yourself means, what I mean here is when you're secure attached, you're not going to have the energy to sit around and try to figure out what they mean or what they don't mean. You won't be begging for breadcrumbs. You won't be begging for crumbs. It's going to be either they show you how they feel and you choose to accept it or not. The question is, are you ready to walk away from the kind of love that hurts, even if it's the only kind that you have ever known? I hope this helps. Join me again for another episode. Feel free to hit the follow or subscribe button wherever you're listening to this podcast. It's going to alert you to when the next one is out.